So whenever we're all ready, I can begin, or we can begin.
I think we're ready now.
All right, well, here we are, guys. Hi, this is Manny.
Hello.
And
Hi.
we are in the middle of July, or towards the end of July, the last part of it. And got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. So hope everybody's had a good month. And if anybody has anything they want to discuss before we start, now's the time to chime in. If not, I'll just roll on with the news. Has anybody got anything? All right. Okay. Here we go. So the iOS version that should be on your phone right now is 17.5.1. Okay, that's the current one. They will be releasing a 17.6 in the near future. They haven't given a final date, but that will probably be the last or one of the very last ones before they release 18 later on in the year, September. So that's it for the versions. Let's see, what's next on the list? Have you guys heard of all those computer outages, the Microsoft computers that happened last Friday?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Uh,
So I don't know if you guys know what they were talking about, but the very software that those businesses use to keep their machines protected was the software that brought it down to its knees. And without going into all of the minutia about it, it's basically some protection software that was developed by a company called CrowdStrike, and it's designed to keep the computer safe. But what happened is it messed up the loading section of Windows, so it wouldn't load. You just get that blue screen with the frowny face that you all saw on TV and heard about, and that's what happened. Microsoft and CrowdSoft are both bringing out remedies for that, but it didn't stop a lot of people from not flying on Friday and many other parts of the world that were out because of that. And shame on CrowdStrike for not testing their software. Shame on Microsoft for allowing that kind of software to bring it to its knees. And shame on Delta and United for not having a backup plan if their computers went down. So it's kind of a three-part error here, starting with CrowdStrike, in my opinion only. So hopefully they'll smooth that out so we don't miss our plane flights and anything more serious than that in the near future. I hope they fix that. So that's it for the CrowdStrike problem. The next one is that Apple advises you against using Google Chrome on your iPhone or on their products. And they do that for privacy purposes. It's not because they hate Google, it's because they're trying to keep their systems, they're trying to keep a privacy as a number one thing about their systems. And Google collects a lot of ad revenue, and they do that by installing files called cookies on your system. This is why when you're in Google Chrome and you go to a website, you get these things saying, you want to allow cookies? That's the way we use to make your experience better and all that jazz. But what you're doing is you're allowing them to look at all of your temporary internet files and see where you've been hanging out on the web, and then they can then target advertising to you. So Apple sees as a privacy problem and a security problem, and it advises you not to use Google Chrome. Of course, you can if you want to, and it's not going to be a problem as long as you know that there's a privacy concern from Apple about Google Chrome. So just letting you know that. They want you to use their Safari browser, obviously. So the choice is yours, but just be aware that they've identified privacy and security problems. Any questions on any of those two things, the CrowdStrike and the privacy stuff? All right.
Manny, it's Annie.
Yeah,
I
Annie?
thought Safari used Google.
Oh, Apple and Safari. Oh, Apple uses the Google search. When you ask Siri a question, it'll go and do a Google search, but you can change that. But what they're more worried about is the browser, the Google Chrome browser, the actual thing that renders the internet pages for you. they would prefer for you to use Safari, their built-in browser, than for you to use Google Chrome. But it's not a problem if you do. It's just a personal preference for yourself. I'm just telling you, I'm just repeating what they said. I use
I,
Safari.
I
Go ahead.
use Safari. I
Yeah.
use Safari, but I still get sometimes that little blurb on cookies.
Yes, and some sites will require that, but Google itself is in the advertising business, and it doesn't always tell you when it's checking out your temporary internet files area. It just does it. So that's where the privacy concern is. It's not a particular site. It's actually Google that is querying the folder where all your internet files are downloaded.
Hmm.
Because when you go to a website, let's say you go to, I don't know, TucsonSocietyOfTheBlind.org. Well, what it does is it downloads the website files to a temporary folder, and then it runs them from your computer or your iPhone. And what happens is Google Chrome will analyze everything that's in this temporary folder and see where you've been. Tucson Society of the Blind, Amazon, all these places, and it knows what you've been doing on the internet. And that's where Apple is sounding the alarm, just letting you know that that's happening. And of course, they're adversaries too. That's the other piece of it. So I don't know if it's really a bad thing to use Google Chrome. I'm just kind of relaying what Apple says, just so you know. It probably will be okay for you folks to use whichever one you want. Google Chrome, you could use Firefox, you could use whichever one you want. But Safari is the recommended one, obviously, and it's really works well with iOS. So that's the one I would pick. But again, you guys can choose the one you like. Did that answer the question, Anna?
Manny, have you
Yeah.
ever tried DuckDuck?
I've heard of it, but I haven't tried it yet. That's supposed to be the real incognito one that is completely
Yes,
private.
that's the best incognito one. Because
I'm
I
gonna
have a
have
friend
to,
who,
yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that one and see if I like it or not. Because sometimes the more secure they are, the less useful they are. Sometimes they don't work on certain websites. So we just have to just try not and test them and just be careful. That's all I ask of everybody and myself, just to be careful when you're out there online. So yeah,
oh
thank you.
yeah, I know.
Thank you, Nancy.
Well, I have
Appreciate it.
yeah, the person I heard that from, he's been doing consulting for decades,
Oh,
and he's usually right.
yeah. Well,
Some
very
people are
good.
usually wrong.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
it's something to look into. He swears
Yes,
by it, and if you ever want to discuss it with him, I can send you his phone number. So
sure,
it's cool.
sure. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Okay, and so the next thing on the list is, you guys know those, ever seen those barcodes on food items, like the UPC labels and barcodes you see everywhere in the world?
Yep.
Those were invented 50 years ago. It's having its 50th birthday this year. So back in
Wow.
1974 is when the first barcodes were invented, and then shortly thereafter, food items started receiving those UPC barcodes to identify them. So just thought I'd throw that out there. 50 years this month. And what else do we have here? Oh, if you have a computer, like a desktop or laptop, and you use Kaspersky protection software, the government has banned it on their computers because Kaspersky is based out of Moscow. They're a Russian company, so right now they're not in good favor with the boys at DC. So just so you know, so if you have Kaspersky, just be careful. They're saying that it may or may not be a good thing to have on your computer, but I'm just relaying the message. So. And that's it for the news, unless someone has anything else to add. All right, I'm just going to go down to my next segment here, which is emerging technologies. Okay, so last week I was talking about iOS 18 coming out with all of this cool AI features and this and that. I wanted to talk about the same thing, except the non-AI features, the features we're all going to get, that we're all going to be able to use when it comes out. So I got the top three that I thought were important for us to understand. So one of the ones that surprised me is that Apple will now allow you to record phone calls. They're going to put that in. And of course, it's going to tell the caller that you're recording them. They're going to know it automatically. I haven't seen the betas on this yet, but that is coming in September. So you'll be able to record phone calls. And of course, as we get closer, how they implement that will be the question. So that was one of the things. And then the second thing is that they're finally putting in a thing to help you with battery charging. And without going into all of the details about that, because I talked about this a few classes back. If you were to only charge your battery to, let's say, 80% each time, your battery would last a whole lot longer, like 2 to 3 times longer minimum. But you'd have to charge it more each day because if you only limit it to 80%, you can't charge it past 80% to get it to 100. So what that all means in English is that they're putting in this option to where you can limit your charging to 80 or 85. I think it's by 5% increments all the way up to 100%. And you can set that, and the lower you set that towards 80, the longer your battery will last in your phone over time. But if you're busy during the day, you may need to hook it up sooner to a charger. So there's a give and take there. Your battery will last a lot longer, but you're in the day that you're using it, you may need to put it on a charger to bring it back up to 80 or 85, whatever you have it, the top at. So that's a battery saving measure to make the batteries last longer. If you do nothing, you can always charge it to 100% and your battery will just wear down like it normally does, roughly about 10 to 15% a year until you get down to about 7-8 years away when it's not good anymore. So that's the battery thing. That's going to be in software. It'll be under your battery settings. I haven't seen it yet because that's still in the beta form and I'm not a beta tester for Apple, so I have no idea what it looks like. And then the last thing here, let me see what it said. Oh, they're going to start combining time-based reminders. So if you set a reminder on your iPhone to, let's say, call Nancy at 7 p.m. tomorrow, it's also going to show up on your calendar because that's kind of where they belong, but they share function. So you can still create your reminders like you always have, but it's also going to show up in your calendar. So the reminders and calendars are going to be linked up in that way on time-specific events. So that's coming down the pipe too. So just so you know. So those were the three main ones. There's more, and as I start learning more about what they're doing in these beta tests, I'll bring some more out. So you won't be shocked when you get iOS 18 in September or November, whenever it comes out. So that's it for emerging technologies. Any questions about that? All right. Just gonna go.
May I ask a question?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
I've heard about you shouldn't charge it beyond 80%. I've known about that, but I haven't followed the rules. And my battery seems to be doing very well. I can't complain. But some people say you're not supposed to talk on the phone while your battery is charging. You shouldn't use your phone while it's charging. And I never knew the correct answer to that.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think it matters, but you know what? Let me look into that, Nancy. I'll make a mental note of that.
Okay.
And
thank you.
Get verification from people who are smarter than me on this stuff. And my gut feeling is it wouldn't make a difference, but I don't want to come out and say that and then tell you differently later. So yeah, let me look into that and I will get back to you on that, or back to the group actually.
Oh, thank you. That's fine.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. So for the topics this week, I have 15 on my outline, which should be enough to get us through. The very first one is Be My Eyes, and we're going to talk about their share option. Now, I don't know if you guys remember when we did sharing in the other app, the Microsoft app, Seeing AI. So when you capture something to be recognized and Seeing AI, you can share the image and or you can share the text. With Be My Eyes, it's a slightly different thing because Be My Eyes doesn't store your stuff locally. When you take a picture with Be My Eyes and it gives you an answer, it's actually sending it up to the cloud, and they're doing all the work up there, and they're sending you the results. So when you share something, they're going to give you a link to their cloud server where your results are stored. It's not going to be just text going out or a picture that you have going out. And I'll demonstrate that just so you know. So let me find my phone. Where are you, phone? Here we are. Open her up here. Let's see.
6:50 p.m.
And I will increase the volume.
Ring mode. Seeing AI.
All right, so they're seeing it. I'm going to open up Be My Eyes, and I'm just going to take a picture of the screen in front of me and then have it recognize that. And I'm going to show you their share option. Okay, so the way you do this is open it up. Siri, open Be My Eyes.
Be starting take picture button.
So the good thing about Be My Eyes for review is that it's ready to go. It's got focus right on the little shutter button at the bottom, but it doesn't give you any kind of framing. So if you're looking at a document and you want to make sure you get the four corners in, you're going to have to get real lucky if you can't see those corners. But outside of that, it's fantastic. So I'm just going to point it at the screen in front of me towards you guys. I'm going to have it snap a picture, and then I'm going to show you how to share the results. Okay. So I'm going to point it up now. I don't know what's in the view, but it looks like a screen. I'm going to hit that button.
Take picture button. Take picture.
So once I take the
Analyzing
picture, I can just put the
Please
phone
wait.
down low because it's analyzing. And I'm waiting for the response.
The image shows a computer screen displaying text. The visible text includes
I don't know. Well, okay, down here. So
using reminders and calendar. Topics. Be My Eyes. Apple's 20.
so it's got my outline in front of me. That's what I'm reading from for you guys. So now let's say I want to share this result. So what you have to do is on the results itself, you take your finger and you swipe up or down, and it brings up the context menu for results. There's no button on the screen anywhere. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to just go put on screen and swipe up.
Share.
And that's the share option. And I just double tap to share.
Cancel button.
And then, oh, and then it gives me this text here. So I'll have it.
Share a link to picture and description. Heading.
So this is the thing that's different from Seeing AI. You're going to share a link to Be My Eyes. Okay, so that's what this is talking about.
Anyone with the link will be able to view your shared picture and description.
So
If you later chat with Be My AI about this picture, the messages will not be shared.
So what it does is it puts it up on the cloud, and somebody with an Android phone or with a computer or whatever other device, even a TV device, can tap or click on that link that you shared and then see the results. And then the button to do that is down at the bottom here. Let me get to it.
Share link button.
So I share link.
Share link. Share.bimmies.bemyai. Image description.
And then
Messages.
a standard share sheet comes up. So I'm going to pretend that I'm going to put it into a message. So I will click on messages or whatever it's called.
Messages button. New message.
So what it does, it puts it into blank message until I put the recipient on there. Like if I put Barbara, then it'll be added to our conversation that we already have. But right now it doesn't know who I want to add it to. But we're just gonna go down to the thing that it's trying to share. So if I put my finger on a thing it's trying to share.
Attached tab. Be My AI. Image description. Share.bimmies.com. One image.
So what that means in English.
Actions available.
What that means in English is that when I send that to whoever, if they tap on that, they will see the results in a link that goes to the web, not on their phone. So Be My Eyes is doing that because they're trying to train their model. So all their data is being collected up there. And when you use Be My Eyes, they told you that, but no one ever reads it, including me. I didn't read it. So that's where your data is being stored, and I don't know for how long or whatever. So be careful when you use Be My Eyes. If you're looking at sensitive stuff, know that it could be being stored up on the cloud, and especially yeah, and it's stored up there as soon as you take the picture and you tell to analyze it. It's done already. So, and that's different from Seeing AI, as far as I know. Okay. So that's the share thing. And then if I were to put, say, Barbara in there, then it would share this with Barbara in her text message, and then she could go to it and then tap on it and see the results, just as I saw them.
Manny, would you go and do it and see if the subject comes up or how it goes?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Would you go ahead and send the message and see how it does it?
Yeah, I can. I'll send it to you. How's that? Is that all right?
Yeah, you can send it to me. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna do what Barbara wants. I'm gonna go back up to the addressee line, the 2 line, which is way at the top. I usually do a 2-finger swipe up and wait for it to find it. I do something like this.
React.
So we go up here. Where is it?
Full text.
New message. Cancel. 2. Text field is editing.
So
character mode.
there's a 2.
Attach tab.
Hold on.
2. Text.
So there's 2, and I'm going to dictate Barbara in there. Barbara.
Inserted Barbara.
And then in the search result, she should show up at the top because I send her a lot of stuff.
Add contact. Results. Barbara McPherson. +1.
So once I choose her, it's going to find our conversation and stick that thing that I'm trying to share right at the end of our conversation. And here it goes.
Edit recipient. 2. Text field.
And
is
now
editing.
I'm just going to go down to the send button, which is going to be right down about the middle of the screen to the right. So I'm just going to go down there with my finger.
Attach tab. My AI. Image descript. Message. Messages. Send.
And there's a send button, little round button.
Send using iMessage.
And we'll do that.
Send message. Cancel button.
And then it's done. And that's how you share in Be My Eyes. And the reason I'm showing it is so you know that you're sharing from their servers up on the cloud and not from your phone. Very important distinction in case you're worried about that. So that was the whole idea for this topic. So Barbara will get it, and then if she taps on it, then she can see the results. It'll take her to the web.
Already got it.
Okay. All right. So any questions on the Be My Eyes share option and it being on the cloud, and you know that your stuff's up there and not just on your phone? Okay. All right.
Hey, Manny.
Yeah.
Manny,
Yeah.
this is Diane. I have a question a little bit different, but this made me think of it. So when you went in and asked and put Barbara's name in, did it find her because you already had a message started for her, or only because she's a contact?
Good question. Okay. So the search is very powerful. So if it looks everywhere, it's got a priority system. So in text messages, when you are drafting a new one and it doesn't know who you're sending it to yet, and you dictate a name like Barbara, it'll first look into messages that you've sent to Barbara or Barbara's. There could be a few different ones, and it'll put them up on the search results. It'll then check your contacts for people named Barbara. And then I think it even checks other correspondence areas that it can use to send messages with. So it checks a lot of places. That's why the search is very powerful. You could type in a number, and I think it'll even try to resolve that with a contact if you got a contact with that number in it. I haven't tried that, but I've heard that works. So you might want to try that at some point. But yes, it does a very good job. Yeah.
Oh, so if there's already a message to Barbara there, it's just going to add that link to the message. But what if there is not yet a message to Barbara? Will it create a message?
It'll
and
create
then put the link in it?
That's right. It'll create a brand new, what they call this. These are actually called message conversations. So you'll start a new
Right, okay.
conversation with Barbara, and the only thing that'll be in there is the thing you just sent. And then when Barbara
Okay.
replies, her bubble will be on the left under the one you just sent. Back and forth messages.
Okay, good. That's what I wondered. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. Okay, no more questions. I'll close this up.
7 p.m.
Hang on.
Home. Cal.
Can you guys hear my phone okay? I can't tell if it's too
Yes,
loud.
we can
Okay.
hear it.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
great.
yeah.
Apps with Be My closing Be My Eyes.
Okay. All right. So item number 2, let me get down to my topics again. Hang on. That is boom, boom, boom. Okay, I wanted to reiterate because I got a feeling with this AI stuff coming out. I wanted to talk.
Edit mode.
Hang on. I wanted to talk to you about this Apple credit card pay thing. I gave it to Barbara to send out, but I thought I might mention it here in case anyone has any questions about that. And it's real simple. And I'm not a salesman for Apple, so I'm not trying to get you to get on their plan. But what they do is they give you a Goldman Sachs credit card, and you have 24 months to pay it interest free. Now, you've got to know that the very first payment, you got to pay all the taxes. So, for example, if you buy I don't know, you buy a computer or a phone, let's say it cost $1,000, and
Screen dim.
just for ease of math, there's 10% taxes. Okay, so your total bill would be $1,100. So the way it would work is that your first payment would have like about $40 or $41 just for the price of the phone, plus the full $100 for the taxes, because those are due immediately. So your first payment on that card would be $141. And then after that, it'll just be whatever the installments are, the $40 or $41 a month until the end of the 2 years. And if you pay them on time, there's no interest, there's no service charges, none of that stuff. And if you buy more stuff, if it qualifies, of course, that amount will go up each month, you know, with the same caveat and with the taxes due first. So it's a way to spread the cost around if you don't mind having their card. And of course, if you buy something that doesn't fall into their 24-month program, which is the cheaper stuff, the peripherals and stuff, that will be charged at a normal credit card rate of whatever your APR is. And that just depends on your credit worthiness or whatever they give you. So it's good for the more expensive stuff, which is typically what you get the no interest plan on. And that's how that card works. And that's what I did to buy my last phone last year. And I'm paying like $39 a month until the middle of next year, and then I'm done. And I don't have to have any insurance on it or anything like that. It's just a credit card. So it kind of saves you a little money in the long run. But if you don't like credit cards, that could be something that you may not want. So it's, you give some good stuff and you get some other stuff that you may not want. But I like it, and it's the first time I tried it, and it's working great for me. And I'm pretty regimented. I have on my schedule to pay them every month, and you also get reminders from them to your bill's coming up in a whole month for next month. So you got a whole month to get the bill paid. And if you have it in your wallet, it's just a matter of going click, pay it, you're done. And there's really no fuss or anything to it. So that's just something to think about if you're looking to buy an iPhone or a computer or a monitor or something, or something higher dollar, like hundreds of dollars or more. That might be another option if you don't want to lay the whole cash out up front. So any questions on that, on the Apple's 24-month purchase option? Okay.
You said Goldman Sachs?
That's the card that's the guys that are doing it with. I don't know if they're going to continue with Goldman Sachs, but I believe they still are with Goldman Sachs now. So that's the card you get when you do the Apple 24-month purchase guy. So
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty good. And you can get a physical card or you can get it added to your wallet if you have it set up on your phone. Either way or both, you can do. It's very flexible, and they don't charge you extra for the card. I don't think. I thought that would mean anything. It's just a a nothing card, just So I think it's well worth it if you don't want to incur that big cost because it can get pretty expensive when you're buying it all up front. Um, but
I know.
yeah, and I say that because with the new AI stuff coming out at the end of the year, all of us, including me, unless someone here has purchased an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max since the last thing, nobody here is going to be able to take advantage of the Apple Intelligence that's coming out in the next version, including yours truly. And I don't want to buy another phone yet because I just bought this one last year. But I may end up having to buy one next year, I think. So we'll see. And if I have to, I'll have to use this card and I'll put it down as a business thing. But it's hard to keep up with the Joneses sometimes when they're always changing stuff. So anyway, that's kind of my spew on that. So any more questions on that one?
Yeah.
All right.
I used to,
Oh, go ahead.
Manny, I used to be real frugal and not want to upgrade my phone. But if you don't upgrade your phone after the 2 years, you don't have insurance on it anymore. You'd have to pay for the insurance.
Yeah, and that's another way of doing it. You could put the Apple Care on it, which is not too bad,
Mhm.
and it will cover a lot of stuff. If you're accident prone or if you don't have a protection on the screen or the body, that might be something you want to consider. And it's an extra cost. You can choose not to put it on when you buy it, but most people put it on because you don't want to have to pay again or pay a large amount to get your little device fixed. So it can get expensive if you don't. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a good one, Nancy. Thanks. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So here's something that I learned from Barbara. I go to teach Barbara and I end up learning stuff out of there. So I don't know who's a teacher sometimes. So Barbara showed me this or talked about this split gesture. And I know that sounds confusing, but it'll clear up right now. So what this gesture does is you put your finger on the time in the status bar, and then you double tap the screen with another finger, and it'll go immediately to the top of a list or a screen or whatever it is. So I'm going to show you that. And I'm also going to show you another gesture that takes you to the bottom of a list. Because there's going to be cases where you're going to be in your inbox, and let's say you have I don't know, like 100 emails in there. And that's probably pretty light for some of you folks. And you want to get down to the bottom and see what the oldest one is. Well, how do you do it now? You could swipe one at a time, go 100 times, and okay, now you're at 100, way at the bottom. You could take 3 fingers and swipe up, and you could do it that way and then swipe 10 times. Like if there's 10 per screen, you could swipe 10 times and get to the bottom. Or you can use these gestures I'm going to show you to go right to the top of the list or right to the bottom of the list. So let me find my phone again. Hang on a second.
7:08 p.m.
Okay. So the first gesture, well, let me get into a list first so you can see that it works. So let me go to my email.
Doc, mail, 20 unread emails.
All right, so I have 20 emails in here.
Search field. Mailboxes, back button, unread. All inboxes, heading.
Okay, so the very top one is right here.
Unread. Manny Sellis.
Okay. But my bottom one is below the screen. Now I have 20 something emails, so I don't know how many times I have to swipe 20 times, but I don't know how many paging things I have to do to get down there. It could be 5 or 7. But if I just want to get, no, I'm sorry, let's do the top first. Scratch that. I want to go to the top, okay? And I'll show you the bottom one second. So going to the top. So let me go down the list a little bit first. So I'm just going to swipe up a few times and page down. So let's do that.
Page 3, page 5 of 13. Page 6 of 14.
All right, so I'm on page 6 of 14. So there's 14 pages of emails here. Now I want to go back up to the top. So like I said, and this is built into the phone already. So you put your finger and you press and hold on the time, and then you double tap on the screen somewhere else.
Wait a minute. Manny, I
Yeah.
just want to announce here for a second, we're going out, so don't expect to, for the next 10 minutes, I'm not only muted, I'm unavailable. We need to
Okay.
get dinner. Okay, just
Okay.
letting you know. Going back
Thank
on
you,
mute.
John. Yeah, appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top of that list, and I'm going to put my thumb on time, and you'll hear what it says when you do that. Let me just see if I can coordinate it.
7:09 p.m.
Now I'm gonna double tap.
Status bar item. Page 1 of 16.
Now I'm on page 1 of 16. It went right up, and it made like a double
7:10
tap,
p.m.
like a click sound to do that. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you
Yes.
heard that or not. Okay. So, and all I did is I put my finger and I pressed on the time, just held it down, and then anywhere on the screen, I just double tapped. And then of course it brought me right up to the top of the list. So that's how you get to the top of any list, whether they be messages, emails, whatever. It could be even screens, like a contact screen. Let's say you want to get back up to the top of your contact screen and get to the first name. You can do that. So that's to get to the top, okay? To get to the bottom is a little more complicated because you have to customize one of the gestures to work to take you to the bottom. Now, the one that Barbara and I picked was the 4-finger single tap, okay? And this is, you have to do this one time to make this work. You have to customize that gesture to tell it when you do that gesture to go to the bottom, okay? So if you wanted to do that, you go to settings, and then you go to accessibility, then you go voiceover, and then you go to commands. And I'm going to go there so you can see what the screen kind of sounds like or looks like. So let me do that now. I'm gonna open up settings. Let me close my inboxes.
Doc, mail,
So I'm gonna go to settings.
settings, settings, cellular,
So
off.
I'm gonna go down to accessibility. So here we go.
Notific, sound, focus, screen, general, display, homes, wall, accessibility, vision,
And
heading,
voiceover.
voiceover, switch button, up, tip, deep, speaking rate, speed, braille, voiceover, verbosity, button, audio, commands, button,
Voiceover and then commands. That's a further, and then you got one more after this.
all commands, button, touch gestures.
So we're going to go
button.
into touch gestures, and what that is, it has all the gestures and their definitions. And what we're going to do is we're going to change one of them. So when we do it, we go to the bottom of the list. It's not that way now. Well, it is right now because I already changed it before the class when I did a practice run. But I wanted to show you where you do this. So we go to touch gestures.
Touch gestures. Tab. 1 finger. Heading.
So these are grouped by the number of fingers. So we're going to go down to 4 fingers because the one we want to change is the 4-finger single tap. Because all of the easy ones are already taken up, like the single tap, the double tap, and all that. Those are already assigned to things. So we want to get one that's not assigned. So we'll go down to 4-finger single tap, and you would take all 4 fingers and just touch the screen with them, and that's how you would do that. So let me get down there to that one.
1-finger quadruple tap. 2-finger two tap. 3-finger single
So
tap.
one of the 3-finger taps.
3-finger tap. 4-finger single tap. Move to last item button.
So I've already assigned that 4-finger single tap to move to last item. Now let's say that it had nothing there. So you would double tap on that, and these are the options you have.
4-finger cancel button.
So you could have a 4-finger single tap do any of these things here. Let's just go through a couple of them.
Activate.
So you can treat it like you're tapping on something. Let's go down.
Escape.
Escape, like a scrub.
Magic tap.
Magic.
Perform long press. Secondary act. Basic navigate. Move in.
Move in, move out of containers.
Move to bottom of container.
So here's where we have the movement stuff.
Move to bottom of document. Move to first item.
Move to first item. So let's say you don't like that one that I just did, that hold the time and double tap. You could assign a 4-finger single tap to move to the first item if you wanted to do it that way. You have total control of this. Now I happen to have it on one of these here. Let me see.
Move to item above. Move to item at center. Move to item below. Selected. Move to last item.
Move to last item. So now when I do a 4-finger touch, it knows, because I programmed it to do so, to go to the bottom of a list. So now let's go back to our mail where I had like 14 pages, and it's going to start at the top, I think. And then if I want to get down to the very bottom, I'll do a 4-finger touch. Now those are harder to do, but you might want to find another one that might be easier for you. There's 3 and 2 fingers and 1 fingers. You could do a 1-finger tap a few times, whatever one that's open, and you can make that the guy that goes to the bottom of the list. But Barbara and I chose this one. So I'm gonna go to my mail and do that now. So hang on.
Settings. Switcher. Settings. Active. Mail. Active. Unread. Mail.
Okay, so I'm on the very first one.
Unread. LinkedIn. Jay just posted.
Okay, so I'm on the very first one. Now I want to go to the bottom of my email list in my inbox. So I take my 4 fingers and I touch the screen. I'm gonna try to do this, see if it works. So there we go.
Drafts.
No, so,
At bottom of screen.
yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Bottom of the screen. So that's how you do that. And that gets you there quickly. So you can play with this. I invite you to go in and again, it's settings, accessibility, voiceover, commands, blah, blah, blah. And then you find the gesture that you want to assign an action to. And it's not hard to do after the first one. You'll see it's real clear. But this gives you better control over your lists, because everything on your phone is in some kind of list, your email list, your messages list. You can be on a screen, you could be in your contact screen, and you want to go to the bottom where you can delete a contact. Well, you do that 4-finger touch and it'll go right down to the very last item, right on the button where delete is. And that's how you can do that very quickly. So it's just little shortcuts. Now, when I publish the notes, I'll put step-by-step instructions on how to assign, and then of course how to use them. And you can try real world scenarios, and you'll see how easier it is, how much easier it is to do it that way than to swipe or try to page down through a lot of pages. Barbara, did you want to add anything to those gestures, or do you think?
Well, I use it to block mail that I don't want to get. I go up to the more button, and then the block mail is the very last one. So then I put my four fingers tap, and it comes right up to block mail, and then I double tap it.
Okay. You know, in light of that, let me go to my contacts, and let's say we want to delete a contact. Now, I don't know if there's a button at the bottom. I don't think there's, but Barbara says there is. But let's check it out. And if not, you can use this new gesture of ours to get right to the bottom and delete a contact. So let's try it both ways. Well, we're going to check for the buttons. If not there, then we'll try our little 4-finger touch to get down to that delete option, which is at the very bottom. Okay. So let me show you what's going on.
7:17 p.m.
Okay, so I'm going to open up contacts. So Siri, open contacts.
Contacts. Contact photo and poster. Shared by Chica.
Okay, so I have Patricia Green's contact already there. You can go into anybody's contact. You know, you go in, well, I'll show you how to, you need to open up a contact to do this. So let me go back to the list real quick and show you that.
Back button, back lists, back button.
Okay, let me go back, hang on a second.
Search field.
Well, let's say I want to delete,
Double tap to edit.
like Barbara. So I'm going to look for Barbara. If I got a lot of contacts in here, so let me just do that. I'm going to dictate her name.
Search field is editing.
Barbara.
Inserted Barbara.
So then I'll go see the search results, and all the people in my contacts named Barbara will show up. So let's see.
Clear text. Cancel. Search results. Barbara and Jim Copeland. Barbara Lang. Barbara McPherson.
There she is, Barbara McPherson. So let's say I want to go in there and I want to delete Barbara. Let's say she told me something real bad and I want to delete her now. So let me go in there. So I'll try that.
Select Barbara McPherson.
So Barbara McPherson's contact card comes up first. It's like a Rolodex card it's just showing it to you. But you can't do anything with that. You're going to have to go into edit if you want to delete it or make a change. So the first thing you do if you want to make a change to your contact, or Barbara's in this case, I got to go to the edit button up in the upper right. So let me do that.
Message Barbara McPherson. Edit button.
Edit button. So you do that.
Done. Dimmed.
So the first thing on the top is this. Let me see.
Add photo. First name. Barbara Mc.
So it's Barbara. So I know that delete is at the bottom, and I don't see, I'm trying to look with my vision. I don't see any buttons at the bottom. I just see share contact and stuff, and then just keep scrolling down. So I'm going to take my 4 fingers, I'm going to touch the screen, and it should take me right down to the delete option. Let me try that. Hopefully.
Group. Rows 1 group. Rows 1 to 6 group. Group. Rows company.
Don't make me a
Text
liar.
field. Group. Delete contact.
There it is. I did it right. It went right down to delete contact at the very bottom. If I were
Oh,
to
it did pop up. Okay.
what's that?
I said it did pop up.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom. It's the very last option. And you can, and I know that because if I were to swipe to the right to go to the next option, it's going to ding on me. It's going to go beep, beep, or whatever. It's going to go.
Delete.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's going dink, 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 which means I'm at the end. So that gesture took me all the way down to wherever delete is. And if I were to double tap that, it would give me a confirmation to delete Barbara. And if I say, yes, she's gone, and of course, cancel. But that's how you get to the bottom of list, the bottom of screens that are list of commands or whatever. It's a very useful function. So this might be a section you want to pay close attention to when you're reading. And like I said, I'll try to simplify that process that we just talked about before, where we created that gesture. It's not as hard as it sounds. I'm making it sound way harder than it really is. So give that a shot, and hopefully that'll make your life a little easier. So any questions on that? On the gesture, the split gesture, and the moving up and down list, and deleting contacts? Any questions on that? Not, we're just going to go back.
Cancel button.
So we're going to cancel out of here.
Cancel.
And we're going to go back.
Back. Search field is editing.
Okay, so I'm going to close that up.
Home settings.
All right.
Double tap.
So that's it for that. Let's go to the next thing. So now I have show and tell. This is kind of cool because I wasn't sure what I was going to show this month, because I think I've shown you guys everything. But guess what? A friend of ours, mine and Patty's, got us some over-the-ear earbuds on the TikTok shop for $5, if you can believe that. Bluetooth earbuds for $5. And they sound great. So I'm going to show them to you right now. Hang on a second. I get a drink of water. Okay, here we go. Where
Screen
are you?
dip.
There we go, right there. So for you visual folks, they look like this. They're in a white box. I don't know the name brand. I will publish this in the notes. But the thing that you're really going to like about them is that they're really compact. And when you put them on your ears, they don't hurt at all. And the little hook thing is a plastic thing that hooks over your ear, kind of like an outside hearing aid, like behind it's like between your head and your ear. It hangs there, so it's real light and it doesn't hurt you at all. And then of course the speaker rests on the outside of your ear canal. It doesn't stick inside your ear, so it doesn't get hot or it doesn't hurt after a while. And the batteries last longer because these are physically a little bit bigger, but they're not gaudy looking, so they look really good. So without further ado, let me get them out of here so you can enjoy the view. So in the box you get, let's see here what we got. We got the charging cable, and then we got like a rubber lanyard, and the lanyard goes to the little round charging thing that I'm going to show you right now. It's about the size of a ping pong ball, and it also houses the 2 earbuds. So let me pull that out of here and show you what it looks like. Let's see. For you visual folks, I'm going to show you right now. So
It's probably like
it looks like this. Looks like a like a size of a golf ball, and that has the little charging thing that they're attached to, and the two earbuds. I'll pull one of them out so we can look at it. So this is what they look like that, and then they hang on your ear. This goes over between your ear and your head, and then this part here, this sits on your ear opening and it doesn't press against your ear. It just sits there really nice, and it's held up by this thing here, whatever you call this thing, support. And the battery and speaker are in here, and they both attach to this. This can be attached to a lanyard, which you can hang off your neck if you're going out somewhere and you wanted to have them be able to charge them a few times with this, because this holds a charge to charge the little batteries inside of them. So anyway, this is really good if you like to go walking, or if you're outside and you want to hear the outdoors too, like traffic or nature, and you still have a sound in your ears that you can listen to. So these really work well, and I really highly recommend them. Like I said, they run $5, and for $5, it's a bargain. Now you're not going to get real deep audiophile kind of bass, but for 99% of what you do, it's very clear, it's loud enough, and you can definitely crank the volume up if you have hearing issues. They're really good. So I highly recommend that, and I'll put in the link where you can get them. And like I said, it's real small little things. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So here we go. Put that back. Any questions on these guys? And that's
No,
how
but I have a related comment.
What's
Since
that?
they don't have one on the north, on this side of town, there is a store called Five Below. Have you heard of that? It's in Oro Valley.
Oh no, I
And
haven't.
Five Below has a lot of stuff. It's not only $5. There are more expensive things too, but
Yeah.
it's really got some interesting things. Especially electronic things, at reasonable prices.
Mhm.
And so it's worth the risk. I'm sure they have a website too.
Oh yeah. I mean, even in this day and age of higher prices, you can still find good deals. And I was shocked that our friend found these for $5, and she got them for me and Patty. And Patty loves them to death, and I've been using them around here, like especially when I go outside. I don't like to have my ears plugged and stuff. But you're right about the prices. You can find a lot of good deals about a lot of things out there, especially your smaller little knickknack things. You can get them everywhere. Even the dollar store, you can get some good stuff there. So, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions about the over-the-ear earbuds that I just showed? All right. Let's see, what do we have here? So Barbara wanted me to talk to you guys, review text replacement. I don't know if you guys remember text replacement. This is something where you could type in a few letters like EML or something, or two letters, and then it can go in and replace those two letters with a phrase. So let me show you again here what's going on. So
7:28 p.m.
all right, so we're going to go to, it's under settings, general, and keyboard, and it's called text replacement. So let me go in there now.
7:28 p.m.
Okay.
Settings. Double tap settings. Settings.
Let's go back.
General button.
General, okay, it's general.
Control center. General button. Settings. Heading. General.
So we're in general, and we're going to go to keyboard.
Apple Care and warranty. But AirDrop, AirPlay, Picture, CarPlay, iPhone Store, background, date and time, keyboard, button.
So there's keyboard.
Keyboards, 2, but keyboard, text replacement, button.
So text replacement button, we go in there.
Section index, adjustable.
So I've got a few here.
Swipe up or down with.
Here are two. I got a list of two of them that I've got to find. So the first one is this one.
EML, theromany@gmail.com.
So I created one called EML. So if I type in an EML and space, it'll stick in my Gmail address in that place. And I'll show you that. And then I got another one that I was playing around with,
OMW.
OMW, which is on my way. So, and I'll show you how to create one now before we do anything else. So let's create one.
Many,
Yeah.
Barbara here. You type 2 letters and then a space bar.
Okay, we can do one with 2 letters. Absolutely. So let's think of one we can do with 2 letters. I don't know. Let's say like
Did you want to put in your address or something?
yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, let me try that. So I'm gonna put in my street address and I'm gonna use a 2-character shortcut to just type it in automatically. So the way you do it, you get into this text replacement screen, and on the very top right, there's a plus or an add button. And let me get over there to that button.
Keyboards. Back button. Text replacement. Add button.
Add button.
Add. Phrase. Text field. Is editing. Character mode.
So the phrase is just how it sounds. It's the phrase. So I'm gonna put in my street address in here, and then I'm gonna figure out the shortcut to that phrase. So let's do that now. 8219 East Arbor Point Place.
Inserted 8219E. Arbor Point PL.
Okay, so notice that it shortcutted PL. It abbreviated automatically. I said place, and it turned it to PL period. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to go down and do the shortcut.
Phrase. Shortcut. Optional. Text field.
And I don't know. I'll just give it any 2 letters. Maybe YZ. It could be any 2 letters. Okay, we'll just try YZ just for fun. So I'm going to double tap.
Shortcut. Optional. Insertion point at end.
So let's say Y
Y.
and Z.
C.
So anytime I type a YZ and a space, it's going to stick my address in there. And so now to commit that, I got to save it. So where the add button was in the upper right, there's now a save button, I believe.
Shift. Save.
Right there.
Button.
Or you
Yeah,
can
that's
cancel.
right.
What's that?
2. Keyboards. Back button.
Now, to test this out, I'll go into messages and I'll type YZ and then a space, and it should fill out my address. So let's do that.
Settings. Doc. Messages. 3. Messages. Search. Conversation. Barbara McPherson.
So I'm going to pick on Barbara today. I'm gonna open her conversation up,
Barbara McPherson. Messages. Your iMessage. Be my.
and then I'm going to go down to write a new message. So we're going to go down there.
Message. iMessage. Text field. Message. Text.
So let's say I want to send her my address, but I don't want to type it out. And this could be anything. It could be a big old phrase, but we're just trying an address today. So I'm going to type YZ and then space, and then it's going to say my address. So we go Y
Cat Y.
and then Z.
Yet C.
And then you hear
Zulu.
that sound. That means it found a replacement. So I'm going to do that.
8219E. Arbor Point PL.
You hear that? So I
Yeah.
typed in YZ and it said my address. So that's how that works. Now, it doesn't work for every single thing, because sometimes on the web, these overzealous web designers like to take control of the text box that you're editing, and they don't like you to paste stuff in there or have the computer put stuff in. It wants to make sure you're typing stuff in. So sometimes this doesn't work on all websites, but that's a problem with websites, not a problem with text replacement. It actually tries to put the text in there. It's just the website rejects it. So you're going to see that in a few areas. But they say if you have a password that you like a lot, you can store it in text replacement. You could store your email there. Things that are hard to type or hard to remember, this is a very good candidate for that. And you could put that information and then just use shortcuts. Like I think Barbara for her email, she has a BJ space, and it actually puts her entire email in wherever you type that, which is really handy sometimes because it's hard to type all that out, being visually impaired. And dictating it's not much more fun either. But this is a nice way to get data in there. And again, just use your imagination. Whatever you don't want to type, put it in text replacement, and you're going to find out that it's so much easier than having to type it out every time and making mistakes. So, any questions on text replacement?
Screened in.
Yes, Manny, this is Diane again. I have one.
Okay.
So I followed everything you did to almost to the end, but so you've got it all set up and you typed in the whatever, I can't remember, YZ or whatever your choice
That's what it was.
was.
Yeah, YZ.
So you typed YZ, and then
space.
did you have to hit enter or YZ space?
YZ.
Did you have to hit enter?
No, you just hit
Or
YZ.
no.
Yeah, and you
You hit
YZ space.
YZ,
Space.
and it just automatically popped up?
That's right.
No, you have to put space bar.
So if your shortcut is a Y and a Z, Barbara's right. You got to do YZ and a space because that'll tell it. Oh
Yes.
yeah, those are the two letters together. They're all by themselves. They're not part of another word. So then it'll expand whatever's associated with YZ or whatever you name the shortcut. So
would that be true even if you had say 3 letters? Do you
Yes.
still have to add the space?
Yes.
That's the trigger that says you replace this.
Yes,
Instead of hitting enter, you're hitting space bar.
And be careful with the shortcuts. You don't want to use shortcuts with 3 letters like AND. That's a real word.
Right.
You don't want to use that real word.
Right.
You don't want it to stick in the other stuff. so use
Right.
a word that doesn't
Yeah.
exist. Like I did YZ because I know that's not a word. YZ in space. So
Yeah.
it's a word.
Screened in.
So
Okay.
you got to be careful in that respect when you're doing that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, good question. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate that. Okay, any more questions on text replacement and how to use it? If not, we're going to head on to the next thing. Okay, another thing that we're reviewing, we've talked about it before, but I'm just going to review it again in case you're wondering, because you don't always deal with these, are those QR codes. Has anybody ever seen those square-looking Rochard ink blot-looking codes that's on everything nowadays? You know what they're used for? Okay, well, if not, I'm going to tell you. So QR codes QR stands for quick response codes. And what it does, they're typically used to navigate or do something automatically by just scanning the code in. So the way you scan a code in is you open up your camera and you point it at a code, and then your camera will recognize a code and it'll say follow code or whatever the code wants you to do. They're used to get you on the internet to do things. I've seen them used on Apple Fire Sticks and Fire TVs. Let's say if you're putting in, if you're signing up for a service, let's say Max or some other video service on their YouTube or whatever, I've seen them use, Netflix does that too. I've seen them say, okay, you can scan this code in, or you can enter your details manually. So when you scan the code in, it takes you right to Netflix, and it says, go ahead and authorize this Fire TV. Go, yep, and then boom, you're done. You don't have to do any kind of entry of your ID or password or anything like that. And that's what these quick response codes do. They save you a lot of time, and they look like little square, crazy looking black and white checkerboard kind of thing. They're just random black and white areas, and they're used to tell the device to do something. And again, that stands for quick response codes, and they've been around for 20 or 30 years now. They're kind of derivatives of the old barcodes that we talked about in the news segment that are 50 years old. These are about 30 years old, and they initially used them to automate things on conveyor belts to go like if a box needs to go on this path versus this other path, a laser can scan the QR code and route the box that way. They do that with luggage on planes too. Sometimes they use QR codes, and then the luggage gets routed correctly instead of to the wrong plane. So it's a really useful thing in industry and in the home. So, any questions on quick response codes? All right, we're going pretty fast here, guys. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, here's a new app that Barbara turned me on to, and I'm trying to really understand it. So what it's called Good Maps Explore. And what it does, it has a compass in it, and what you do is you open the app up and you point your phone in whatever direction, and then it gives you information about things in that direction, and if it's east or west or whatever. So I'm going to open it up and give it a shot. I don't have a lot of experience here, so Barbara, if you have any other hints that you want to give us, they'd be more than welcome. So I'm going to open it up and see if we can get it to do something here. Hang on a second.
7:40 p.m.
Let me get in here. So you can get it from the Apple Store for free, and you look for Good Maps Explore. And then when it ends up on your phone, it's just called Explore. So I'm going to tell the S lady to open up Explore, but it's really Good Maps Explore. So let me get over there. Hang on.
Doc. Messages. 3.
Siri, open Explore.
Explore.
You guys hear that?
Facing east. Look around tab. Unselected.
Okay, so I'm facing east. So let's see what this screen says. Okay, I don't know what it says here. Let's see.
8,219. Search. Text field.
So I can put in
Double
a
tap
search
to edit.
argument.
Direction. Facing northwest.
So now I'm facing northwest.
Nearest address. 8,200. Nearby. 480 feet ahead to the shoe depot.
Shoe
Button.
depot.
Home. So look around tab. Unselected.
So let me go to this look around tab and see what it finds.
Look around tab.
So
Unselected.
there are 3 tabs on the bottom. I'm on this tab here.
Home.
Home
Selected.
tab. There's look around,
Look around tab. Menu tab.
and there's a menu of, with preferences and all that jazz. So let's go to look around, the second
Look
tab.
around tab. Look north. East. Look around. East Woodland Road. East Woodland Road. East Woodland Road. East Tonque Verde Road. Point your camera in the direction you want to know more about.
Let's see. I'm gonna point at this.
Northwest. West.
I'm pointing
North
at
McGuire,
west.
Northwest. At the shoe depot. North Adron Avenue. Danny Mans O'Hare. To East Whiting Way. Northeast Camino Depot. North Super Chicken Drive. East Captain and Calidus. North Gondola Way. East Camino Babis.
So what it does kind of like Lazarillo app. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It uses your GPS and where you're pointing the phone, the compass, in conjunction to help you find things. So if you're pointing it towards the west and it says, oh, up ahead is Grandma's Pizza, you can zero in on that and it'll help you get there. It'll help you try to get there. I think it even does distancing and all that stuff. So I've been playing around with it. I thought it might be one that you guys might want to try if you see if you like it. So you would go to let's look for it on the App Store just to make sure.
7:43 p.m.
I want to make sure that
North.
you guys got
Explore.
that.
North. Home. Dock.
And it's kind of chatty. It keeps talking, so you may have to stop it after a while because it'll drive you nuts. So we're gonna go to the App Store.
App Store. App Store.
Do your 4 fingers
That
to go
page
to the
loaded.
bottom.
Oh yeah, there we go. So let me do that.
Tab bar. Search. Web. Suggested. Games. Apps. Search field. Search field. Is editing. Games. App.
Good Maps.
Good Maps. Good Maps app. button. Good Maps app, search field. Advertisement, Guru Maps, vertical tab bar, today, games, artwork, page 2 of Good Maps, indoor navigation, inclusive indoor navigation, button. Page 3 of 4, Google Maps, places, page 2 of Good Map, Good artwork, image, artwork.
You didn't find it
image,
there, let me
a
see.
smart Good Maps app, search field.
They have another one called indoor navigation, which I have not tried. So let me try this again, hang on.
Good Maps app, search field, insertion point at end. Search. Good Maps app, search field. Good Maps app, Good Maps app, search field, insertion point at end, clear text, button. Web page loaded.
Good Maps Explorer.
Inserted Good Maps Explorer, button.
So I think that's what it's
Good
called,
Maps
Good Maps
Explorer,
Explorer.
search field, Good Maps Explorer, discover the world, button.
So it looks like this for you visual folks. It's like, I don't know, it's got a G, looks like a Google icon, and it's called Good Maps Explorer. That's the title of it, and it's free. And I don't know what else it has here.
Good Maps Explorer, discover the world, button.
It says Discover the World. And you get that, and then it'll install Explore on your screen, and it'll do what mine was doing. So let's go back for a second. Let's see,
Home, App Store.
just a real quick look again.
Double app switch, apps, closing apps, explore, north, northeast,
So let's
southeast,
go southeast.
Sunrise Chapel,
Sunrise Chapel.
1,380 feet.
So Sunrise Chapel, 1,380 feet, so a quarter mile. Let's see what else we got here.
Point your camera in the direction you want. Home. Point Sunrise Chapel, 8,421 E. Wrightstown Road, Tucson, AZ.
So let me point to the south, see what it finds.
1,380 feet southeast, south. Pima Ridge, 2,680 feet.
Pima Ridge,
Point
go
south,
north.
northeast. North. East Woodland Road, East Woodland Road, East Woodland Road, East Home, page one of, point your camera in the direction you.
There aren't many places that it finds because I'm in a residential area, so it doesn't find a lot of points of
App Store.
interest. And that's what it's looking for, points of interest that are surrounding me. So when you get in a busier section, you're going to find a whole lot of stuff like fries and whatnot out there. So yeah, and it does it pretty close. I don't know how far it extends out, but it looks like about half a mile, it looks like to me. So it's another tool in your toolbox for getting around if you so desire. So any questions on Good Maps Explorer, or what it can do, what it can't do? All right, let's go to the next thing here. Hang on. What is the next thing? Oh, okay. Now, one of the great thing about, one of the, there's good and bad things about your photos. So photos are a visual thing. When you try to find a photo, it's really hard as a visually impaired person. But what you can do is use a search option, and the search option can really narrow down your photos for you. I think it's forgotten because we've always tried to use our vision to see the thumbnails and then try to blow it up and use the limited vision we have to see it. So let me open up photos and show you what I'm talking about. So let's go to photo.
Photos. My albums. My album.
So what I'll do, instead of opening up my photo albums and trying to see if I can see these little square little thumbnails, which I can't really see, I'm gonna just have it look for content. It'll analyze the images and tell me if I have any images matching that stuff. So there's a nice little option at the bottom on the tabs. It's called search. Let's go down there.
Tab X, create tab bar, selected, albums, search, tab, for.
So what I want to search for, let's say I want to look for a dog. So let's see if I have any pictures of dogs.
Photos, people, search field is editing.
So dog.
Inserted dog.
Okay, so I've inserted the word dog. Now I'm going to swipe to the right and see if there are any images below that that have a dog in there. So I'm going to do that now.
Clear text. Cancel. Search results. Dog. 1. 1 photo. See all. Button. Live photo. A black cat lying on a carpet next to a table.
Well, that's a cat. So I don't know what that means. So yeah, that's AI on the job. So sorry about that. So we'll look for a few more things just for fun. This is kind of a fun topic. So we're gonna look for something else. And if you guys think of something you want me to look for, I got a lot of pictures in here. We can look for something. I think I'll try a tree this time. Let's see.
Search field. Insertion point at start. G.
Let's see.
O. Cat D.
Let's go tree. Tree.
Inserted tree.
Okay, I'm gonna search.
Search.
So let's see what we got
Search
now.
field. Cancel. Search results. 15 photos. Heading.
What's
Ooh.
cool about this is it found 15 and it filters them up and puts them in thumbnails. So let's see what kind of trees it found, and maybe it found some more cats. I don't know. We're gonna see. So it's probably going to embarrass me, but you know, I'm used to it. So here we go.
See all. Button. Photo. A child standing near a decorated Christmas tree in a room.
Oh, Christmas tree. Okay, let's see. Well, let's just do one or two more just for fun.
Photo. A person wearing a red robe and holding a bouquet of flowers. L'art.com. Arts Press.
I don't know.
Theater.
That's flowers.
Mystery boxes. On per box at between 25. Live photo. A person holding a stick and standing next to a person in a costume.
See, I don't know what that means with tree. I'm not sure how that jives with tree. But again, I don't know how this technology works yet. I mean, it's a mystery to me.
Live photo. 2 people posing for a photo in front of a Christmas tree.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's do one more.
Live photo. 2 people posing for a photo in front of a fireplace and a Christmas tree. 2
Okay.
people posing for a photo in tree. Search field. Insertion point at end.
All right, we'll do one more search. Let's see.
E. R. T.
Can you guys think of it, something interesting to look for, or are you going to leave it to me? What are we doing? Let's see. How about a car? Let's see if I have any pictures of cars in here.
C. A. E.
Oh, not E, R.
E. R. Search. Search.
All right, so let's see what we got.
Car. Cancel. Search results. 13 photos.
Oh,
Heading.
wow, okay.
See all. But video. A person holding a camera in front of trees and a building. 1. 19.
I don't know what that is.
Photo. A blue car on a road near a grassy field.
Blue car, okay.
Live photo. A sign on a brick wall next to a parking lot under a cloudy sky. 1. 6. 4. 5. 1. Caucanism.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Photo. A brown car on a paved surface in front of trees.
So this photos lookup thing is kind of a hit and miss, but it's a quick way to isolate photos that potentially have the content you're looking for. So the whole idea of this topic was to keep you from using your eyes and trying to look at these little squares, these little thumbnails. Maybe you kind of narrow down the content to maybe 10 or 15 squares instead of, 1,500 or 1,000 or 100 or whatever. And it'll be easier on the eyes when you do it that way. And you can blow them up because they're thumbnails still. And what you were hearing was the description of the image as I passed over them with my finger. That was, they're just images. So it found the cars in the image. And then as I perused the images, it described them. And some of them had cars in them. Some of them were parking lots. And I don't know what the rest of them are. So it's like, hit and miss, with this kind of technology. But it's kind of nice to be able to search within images. That's something that's newer that we didn't have before. So, yeah. Any questions on this search stuff for images? Any comments, questions? All right, we're going to get out of this.
Cancel button.
All right, let's see what's next here. Photos. So what do we have here? This is. Oh, I wanted to show you guys how you handle. I actually wanted just to talk about messages, but I want to expand this to messages, to emails, and phone calls. Okay. These are the three guys where we get a bunch of junk and stuff we don't want in. And what we want to do is we want to handle that. And for me, what I like to do is I like to block the stuff and then report it and delete it. Report as junk and delete. So I'm going to show you how to do that in all three scenarios. So let's start with your received phone calls. Let's say you get a call from a number and they're just calling and then they hang up, they don't leave a message and it's an unknown number. I recommend, unless you want to do it differently, that you block those people. You block them and they will never call you from that number again. Now, that's not going to stop them from using another number, but that number is plugged up. At least you've done something to keep them away from you. And you're going to have people calling, not people, probably machines calling you, trying to see if you're a real person, so they can spread your number out more and more people can call you to try to get to relieve you of your funds or whatever they're trying to do. So where you would go to do this is you would open up your phone app,
Screen dim.
and then you would go to the Recents tab, and you would find a number that you know is some kind of potential spam or somebody who's not in your contact list or whatever. So let's go there first, and I'll continue to explain that. Let me do that first. So I'm going to close this photos thing or
Home.
put it aside.
Photos.
I'm going to go to my phone app.
Dock. Phone. 3. Recents.
Go to Recents.
Heading. Tab bar. Selected. Recents. 2.
So what I do to get a handle on this is everybody that I correspond with that I know, I have them in my contacts. I have Diane Bellarante. I have most everybody in TSB. They're in my contacts. So when Nancy or Diane or Barbara call, it says Nancy or Diane or Barbara. So I know they're calling me. But when I get these numbers that are unknown, they say one, whatever, and they don't leave messages. These are people that are trying to do something weird. And my policy is if I'm doing business with them, I add them in my contacts and they're there. Otherwise, they get blocked because if I don't, I'll be on this thing all day getting calls if I'm not plugging the holes up. And unfortunately, that's what we have to do. It's sort of akin to, remember we had house phones and an MCI would call asking, do you want to change your long distance service and all that? It's kind of akin to stuff like that. But with the phone, you can actually block them from calling, which you couldn't do with a landline before. I mean, you could screen calls, but we can actually keep the calls from ringing with our iPhone. So let me go to the first one here. That's an unknown, okay? And your unknown, your missed calls are going to be in a different color than the ones you placed. And they're going to sound like this. Let me just go to one of them. Hang on.
Barbara McPherson. Incoming.
That's incoming.
One
So,
call. Mobile. July.
so I know her. She's fine.
Nancy Dipole.
Oh, I guess Nancy called me.
Missed.
I missed
One
her call. So we'll leave her alone.
Plus. 2 2 5 2 0 7 9 9.
So here's one.
3. Incoming. Missed. One call. Baton Rouge.
So,
LA. July.
Somebody
20.
from Baton Rouge, Louisiana called me according to their area code. I know of nobody in Baton Rouge. So this person's probably trying to do something bad. So the first thing you want to do is you want to see what your options are. You want to make sure you get them blocked, and then you want to delete and report junk if you can. So let's see if that's an option for incoming calls. Okay, so I'm going to swipe up and down with my finger, and let's see what we got.
More info. Block and report junk.
That's what you want. Block and report junk. So you swipe up like 2 times, and you do that.
Alert. You will not receive phone calls, messages, or FaceTime calls from people on the block list. You can also report this call as junk by sending it to Xfinity Mobile from your phone number.
So that's what the junk reporting does. You give it to your phone carrier, they collect it from everybody, and then they try to screen out and tag these as potential spam for you. Try to identify these calls as bad calls. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to block and report junk. That's perfect. So I'm going to swipe to the right.
Block button.
That's block, but I want to do them both. So we got to keep going.
Block and report junk.
That's what I want to do. I want to block and report junk.
Plus 1, 2, plus.
So, and it's still on my in my recent call list. So the last thing I want to do is I want to delete it because I don't care about it anymore. So you swipe up again and find the delete option. So for each of these bad calls, you got to do 2 steps: block and report junk, and then delete. And you'll never get a phone call from that number again. So let me do that.
More info. Block and report delete. Performed action.
And then you do that for all your unknowns, and then your unknowns start coming down. And what you gotta be careful of doing, because I did this when I went to El Paso earlier this month. I got a receipt from Marshall's electronically, and ever since I give them my email and my phone number, I've been getting a lot of bad stuff. So they're not handling my data very well. So if you want to minimize this on your phone, you're better off getting these paper receipts and not giving them your email or your phone number. Unless you get some kind of big discount for doing that, and it makes it worth it. Otherwise, you're going to get more pollution on your phone. So that's how you do phones, okay? You go phone, recents, find the bad number, swipe up to delete and report junk. Block and report junk. You do that, and then you go back and delete, and then you're done. That's how you handle the bad calls. Now let's go to messages and look at that.
Dot. Phone.
So messages.
3 unread. Messages. Message.
This is another
text.
way for people to get to you. They'll send you these cute little text messages acting like your friend or whatever, or posing as somebody else. They get you to, to tap on something, and now they're going to do something. Who knows what? But let me show you how to handle those. So we got to get to your conversation list.
3 unread. 3 filters. Conversations. Chica and Valera. Barbara McPherson. Chica Green. Mark Paulson. +1. 6.
Here's one.
4 6 3 4 0 2 9 1 8. Unread. Hey there. Is this Renee Sanchez number? Saturday.
So this is somebody I don't even know, and they think it's Renee, whoever. And what they're doing is they're trying to figure out whose number this is. So they're trying to bait me in by asking me what sounds like a legitimate question, but it's not. So what you want to do is here you can open it up. That's safe to do. Open it, but don't click on those links if they have any in there. So we'll open it up.
Messages. +164.
And for these kind of text messages, at the very bottom of the message, Apple is going to insert a link called report junk. So let's find it.
Messages. Report junk button.
So we're going to do that. We're going to report junk.
Alert. Report this conversation as junk by sending it to Xfinity Mobile and Apple from your phone number.
So now the next call, they're going to be marked by me as junk. When other people mark it as well, then they're going to be a number that's going to be suspicious. And then when it comes into us ever again or anybody else, it'll be marked as a number that's potential spam. So we're going to do that.
Delete and report junk button.
Now this one does it all in one fell swoop. I'll delete it and report as junk, and then I'm done with that conversation. That's all you have to do.
Conversations. Chica and
It automatically deletes it too. So that's much easier than the phone call. Now, last but not least is email. That's the third way they can get to you. So let's look for one in email, and then I'll show you how to do that one. And when I publish the notes, I'll do these 3 examples again, and I'll make sure I detail each step. And you're going to do that for each entry for each category of message. So we're going to go to email next. So let me do that.
home. Dog. Mail. 22 unread emails.
Let's go to mail.
Drafts.
So let's find one. I think I saved one for this class. Let me see if it's right here somewhere. Hang on.
Unread. LinkedIn. Unread. LinkedIn. CR Ward 6 unread. Barbara unread. Manny Sellet. Unread. Sandra Dawson.
There you go.
Payment notice. Sunday. Hello contact. I am instructed to inform.
Now you can open up emails. They're fine. So I'm going to open it up, and I want you to hear what this person is telling me. This Sandra Dawson person. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Message content. Hello contact.
So that's very personal. Hello, contact. That's exactly my name. So it's very suspicious already. But it's a short little email. Don't worry. Just want you to hear the kind of lingo they use to bait you in. Okay, so here we go.
Messages.
Oops, wait a minute. Go back.
Sandra Dawson. Sandra Dawson. Select message message. Hello contact. I am instructed to inform you of your appointment as the funds administrator to your deceased relative estate. Kindly indicate your acceptance by providing your current address and direct phone number for immediate processing of the funds released to your control via the deceased bank directly. Thanks. Sandra Dawson. Delete button. Move.
So
button.
I feel kind of
More
insulted
actions.
because nobody in my family died and none of them would leave me money. So what is this about? I'm just kidding. But you know, this is the way they're trying to get you. They want to get your information because if you remember a long time ago, information in the 21st century is like oil in the 20th century. Your information is valuable and they want it so bad. They're even doing stuff like this. Okay. So obviously we're going to block this, right? Now let's see if there's a way to quickly do this in the email list. Or what I do when I'm in the message, I can just go down to the more option. So let's do that. So, and I'll explain this on the notes very clearly. So for the email section, this is what you do. So we're going to go to more. I'm already on it.
Toolbar, more actions. Sandra Dawson. Hello.
Now this more option, it has all those reply, forward, reply, all that, move and all that. But at the very bottom, it's going to have a really cool option. So let's look at that.
Reply. Page 4 of 5. Page 5 of 5. Block sender.
Block sender. That's what you want to do for these emails. So Sandra Dawson, that's going to be her last email to me under that email address. Because in the future, I'm not going to be able to receive anything from her. So I'm going to block her.
Block sender. Message content. Hello contact.
And that's it. And you go back.
All inboxes. All in messages. Sandra Dawson.
And in the second step, you delete the message. You put it in your trash. So you just do a swipe up on the message in the list.
Delete. Activate.
So Manny, that's where I use the 4 fingers tap.
Yes. I'm
You hit
sorry,
the
Barbara,
more,
you're right.
And then you just do your 4-finger tap and you're down to block mail in 2 seconds and you just double tap it.
You're right. Barbara's
You don't have to go through that whole list.
That's right. So I didn't do that. Sorry, Barbara. You're so with that gesture, when you define that gesture, like I showed you in the earlier segment, you would do the 4-finger touch and takes you right down to block. And just like Barbara said. So I'm going to delete this one now in a second step. Let's do that.
Activate. Delete. Deleted. Unread.
And that's it for her. She's done. So this will keep you safer. And then you feel good that you deleted them because they're no longer going to come at you with that angle anymore. It'll be a different angle tomorrow. But at least you're not getting played or getting fooled by these people trying to act like they're your friends or they want to give you something for free. Beware of that word free. That's the worst word you can think of when it comes to this stuff. It's never true.
Alert. Undo trash.
Oh, cancel. Hang on, I shook my phone.
Cancel.
Okay.
Messages.
Any questions on deleting, reporting as junk, and blocking?
Control center.
The 3 ways that people can get to you. If not, we're going to move on to the next thing. Let's see. Okay, Barbara, this week, she wanted me to review navigating messages. So what you got to remember about messages is that we use the term messages. These are actually conversations. And when you open up a conversation, you can peruse the individual messages from you and the other people inside that conversation. And I'm doing this so you know the default behaviors. Where does it land when you open up a conversation? And how do I get to a different part of that conversation? That's what this piece is about here. So let's do
Lock
that.
rotation. Switch button.
Hang on, let me get the
brightness. 52%. Adjustable.
All right, sorry about that. Let me get over there.
808.
Okay, messages.
Home.
Sorry, let me get my act together here. So we're going to open up messages.
Messages. Messages.
So-
Conversations. Carol Sellis.
So let me go to
Conversations. Barbara McPherson.
Barbara McPherson. So if I have a conversation list, um, it's going to have all of my conversations with everybody and whoever I've had these conversations with, messages with. So that's the conversation level. So I'm going to open up my conversation with Barbara. So I'm going to do that now.
Messages. Your iMessage. Be my AI. Image description. Share.bimities.com.
So the first thing that it puts me on when I open the conversation with Barbara was that Be My Eyes thing that I shared with her earlier, because that's the last thing in our conversation. That's the last message in our conversation. So if I want to see the message before that, I'll need to swipe to the left to move up the conversation list and pop into the previous message. So I'm on the last message. I'm going to move up to the previous one. Let's swipe to the left. I'll do that now.
Today 6:57.
Well, it also has certain headings that tell you when these bubbles were done. So you got to swipe again.
Your iMessage includes picture.
It's a picture. Let's keep swiping.
Yesterday 1:14 p. Sent with Siri button. Barbara McPherson. Hi Manny. Can you bring a check payable?
So as I go up, it goes into the past. And then, of course, if I swipe right, I go back down. When I get to the very last message, I'll get down to the part where I can compose my own message. So let's swipe the other way and get down to the end where we kind of started, okay? It always starts you at the very last message, not the very top. So if you want to get to the top, you're going to have to move up the conversation to the top, however you want to do that. So let's swipe to the right and get down to where it initially put us, okay?
Sent with Siri. Yesterday 1. Your iMessage. Today 6. Your iMessage. Be my AI. Image description.
So if we start there and you swipe to the right, we're going to get down to where we can reply. So let's do that. I'll swipe once.
Delivered. Heading level 3.
Okay, that's the status of that message that I sent Barbara earlier. It's delivered. Swipe again.
Vertical scroll bar. Apps button.
Apps is a button that's on the compose bar there, and you can add pictures and sound and all that stuff. But we just want to do a text message, okay? So we swipe another one to the right.
Message 8,200.
And that has my text replacement that I demoed earlier. It's got my address still in there, ready to go to her. And if I were to hit send, that would send the address to her, and that would be the last part of that conversation. So that's the way messages work as far as navigation is concerned. So any questions about the conversations and messages within it and navigating? All right, if not, we're going to go on to the next thing. Let's see. Okay, the next thing is something called it's called Speakaboo, and what it is, it's Speak a Boo, like peekaboo, but with an S on the front. And what it does, it's kind of like one of these AI kind of things. So I'm just going to demo it too. It's not available for you to download from the App Store unless you get this app that allows you to test beta software, because that's what this is. I'm just playing around with it. I'll put it in the notes. If you got to download an app and do a bunch of jumping through hoops, but you can get it to demo it. But I think I would wait for it to be officially released as a final version to the public. I'm just playing with it because Barbara turned me on to it, and it's kind of a cool little app actually. So I'll bring it up and see what you guys think. Hang on a second here.
Dot. Messages. App switcher.
I'm gonna close some of these apps. Hang on.
Closing messages. Closing mail. Closing phone. Closing photos. Closing Explorer.
Okay, so of course, like any other application, you have to tell the S lady to open it. So Siri, open Speakaboo.
Closing settings. Closing contacts. Speakaboo. Double tap or tap and hold.
All right. So all it is you point it and then you double tap the screen, and it does a whole lot. It does things a whole lot like Be My Eyes and Seeing AI, but it's as simple like Be My Eyes. So I'm going to point it at the screen and see what it reads to me. I mean, I have no idea what it's going to say. So I'm going to double tap.
Double tap or tap and hold.
I'm going to double tap.
Dim. Logo other. A computer monitor with white text displayed on a desk with a keyboard in front.
So that's what it does. I can point it to anything and it'll just describe it. So it's another way to do stuff. And I haven't really explored much more about it. There's some other things up here. Let me see what it has.
Hell button. Hell button.
So it's beta software. So it's not really full-fledged yet. It's just they're trying to get it to just work and get it back to you. And it seems to work pretty good. Let me have it look at my water thing here. See what it does there. So I got a cup of water here, and let's see how it identifies that.
Double tap or tap and hold button. Dim. Logo other. A black webcam is in the center of the image on a desk.
I don't know what that's about. So it needs some work. Let's look at the keyboard. Let's see what it does there.
Double tap or tap and hold. Dim. Logo other. A keyboard in the center, slightly angled to the left, with a computer monitor at the top.
Yeah, that was right. Okay, so
What did it say? What did it say, Manny?
it said a keyboard at the left, slightly angled with a monitor at the top. And I'm not sure why it's talking so fast. This might be a bug. It's not respecting my other settings. So again, this is beta software. So I was hesitant to show this, but I just wanted to show you guys it's out there. And when they get all the bugs worked out, it might be something we want to look at and demo like we do Be My Eyes or Seeing AI and stuff. Did you have anything else to add on Speakaboo, Barbara? I know it was one thing that you kind of found out about. I wanted to, or is
Well, the advantage of Speakaboo was much faster. I mean,
Yes.
it was talking real fast. But if you put out like money, it'll tell you in 3 seconds what it is.
yes, I
It
did notice that.
identifies dollar bills really, really quickly.
Yeah. Okay, well, if there's no questions about Peekaboo, it's got a cute name, Speakaboo, excuse me. I'll keep you informed about that as things develop here. If they release a full-blown version, I'll let you know, and I'll tell you if it's any good. Give it a shot. So, okay, well, that's your introduction to Speakaboo. So we're gonna have it go away for a minute.
Home. Calendar. Tuesday. July 20th. Speakaboo. Closing Speakaboo.
All right. So the next thing I wanted to go over was something that Barbara wanted me to look at too. Barbara's got a lot of good ideas actually. This is the call audio routing. Okay. So call audio routing is exactly what the name says. When you receive a phone call, you can tell your iPhone through settings where to route the call. So you have automatic, which says, I'm going to put it through the earpiece, and you put it by your ear. But if you were to bring it away from your head and down, I'm going to automatically switch it over to speaker.
Screen dim.
If you have a Bluetooth device, whether they're hearing aids or they're actually Bluetooth earbuds like the ones I demoed earlier, or an earpiece, a single earpiece, then of course the Bluetooth will take over and it'll route through there. So let me show you what the settings look like. They're not really complicated, but it's good to know where they're at and how to manipulate them if you need them. And there's another setting going along with that you may want to consider too. So the settings for call audio routing are going to be under accessibility and touch, which is very strange because it has to do with phone calls. And I don't know why they would put it under touch, but hey, to each their own. So I'm going to go and open up settings.
Photos. Settings.
And we're going to go under accessibility.
Heading, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, select, notif, sounds and focus, screen, general, control, display, home screen, accessibility.
Accessibility.
Button, vision, heading.
And we'll go to touch.
Zoom, display and motion, spoken content, audio disc, Physical and touch button.
So it's called touch. It's under
Physical and motor.
physical and
Heading.
motor.
Touch button. Assistive touch off button.
So that's not it.
Assistive reachability. Swipe down. Haptic touch. Press on the touch accommodation. If you have tap or swiped, wake and unlock. Shake to undo. If you vibration. When this switch prevent lock to prevent the side. Call audio.
There it
routing.
is.
Automatic button.
Didn't know exactly where it was. It took about 10, 15 swipes, but it's down there. They call audio routing. And here's what Apple says it is. So I'm going to have it read it to you.
Call audio routing determines where audio will be heard during a phone call or FaceTime audio.
Okay, so basically what I told you. So there's a button there above it.
Call audio routing. Automatic button.
So I have mine on automatic. So let's see what the options are.
Selected. Automatic.
So automatic is, like I said, it goes to the earpiece, and then if you move your phone away from your head, it switches automatically to the speaker. Unless you have a Bluetooth device, then it'll just go there. So the thing that you pick is where it goes first. Okay, so automatic says go to the earpiece. That's what it really says, but it doesn't say that on here, but it's automatic. So the second option you could choose,
Bluetooth headset.
Bluetooth headset. Now I imagine if you choose that and you get a phone call and you don't have a Bluetooth headset or a Bluetooth connection to your hearing aids, it's probably going to default to the earpiece and just go back to whatever. Their call will be available. It just won't default to something that doesn't exist. And of course, the last option, speaker. So for those that don't want to hold it by their head, it can automatically just go to speaker first. And I don't know if there's any kind of explanation for this. Let me see what it says here.
Call audio routing determines where audio will be heard during a phone call or FaceTime audio.
Yeah, it's the same thing as before. Now the other setting that's along with this.
Manny.
Yeah.
If you are hearing impaired, it's wonderful to have it on speaker.
Yes.
You'll be able to hear it at all times.
That's true. A lot of my students who have a hearing impairment, even a small hearing impairment, they love to have it on speaker. Or they have a Bluetooth thing that's really either a hearing aid Bluetooth or it's an external kind of Bluetooth, earbud or headset thing. So yes, she's absolutely right. So the clearer it is, the better. The louder it is, the better. And the last thing here, but I'm going to show it to you, but I don't think you should turn it on unless you really want to. But this one, it's right under it.
Auto answer calls.
So just like the name says, it will automatically answer a call when it comes in. It might ring once and then it'll just pick up automatically. And that's if you're having problems with gestures and you want to have the phone answer the call, it'll do it to every call, including potential spam and everything else. So I wouldn't recommend turning this on, but if you wanted to be a little easier and you didn't want to mess with the gestures or whatever, you could do automatic answer calls, turn that on, and then see what happens. And this is where you would turn it off, in the same place that you do the call audio routing. So these are very important settings, if you're having trouble with answering calls, and it makes life a little easier. This is why it's under accessibility. I'm not sure why it's under touch though. That's still a mystery to me, but that's where they put it. So it's settings, accessibility, touch, and then call audio routing, and then auto answer calls together. They're kind of two little guys together on the same page. So any questions about call audio routing? Okay, we're going to cut to the next thing then. So the next thing is, so this is something that I went over with Barbara this week that we've never gone over before. And it's called edit actions, okay? So I did a little studying on this because there was some confusion on it yesterday when I was looking at this, but I think I finally figured it out. So when you share something, whether it's an image or anything, when you hit the share button, you get all of these options up. You can airdrop it, you can text message it to somebody, you can recognize with Be My AI, but these are all things that you can customize through a thing called edit actions. Well, actually there's two things. There's a more option, and then there's an edit actions option. So I'm going to go to my photos, and I'm gonna show you how you can take things off of this list. Like if you've never saved to files and you don't want that option as part of your share stuff, you can take that off the menu and just shorten your list up to just the things you use. Or you can blow it all the way out to everything. So it's kind of nice to reduce the clutter because it gets to be pretty big sometimes with some of these things. So I'm gonna go to my Photos app. I'm gonna grab an image, I'm gonna open it up, and then there's a share option, and then I'm gonna show you how you can modify these actions that end up on the share menu. Okay, let's do that.
8:24 p.m.
Let's do that. Okay, hang on a second.
Settings. Settings.
Okay,
Home.
so I'm gonna open Photos.
Photos.
I'm gonna go to my
Photos.
albums,
Tab bar.
go to Recents.
Recents. 300. Photo. Recents. Live photo. Date. Page 10 of 10. Live photo. Date. July 22nd. Time. 1:26 p.m. Recents. Back button.
Okay, I think I got a picture of my cat in a tub. I adopted a cat, by the way, me and Patty, and he's crazy. He's sleeping in the sink, and we got a picture of him doing that. So yeah, kind of crazy. So what I want to do is I want to share this, but I want to be able to edit those actions. So I go down to my share thing. So I open the thumbnail up and I have it full screen. So I go down to share.
Toolbar. Share. Button. One photo selected.
Now there are two ways to manipulate what you see on the share sheet. On the very top are the people you share it with and some specific apps. And on the bottom is a list of other apps that you can do it with. And they've broken up the list management of this, how you can, what to share with, like you can choose what to share with and not on this list into two areas. So let me get over to the first one, and it's called the More button.
Messages. Button. Page 6 of 10. Page 9 of 10.
Now this is a horizontal list. It scrolls horizontally, so I'm almost there.
Page 10 of 10. More button.
So there's a More button on the second line of the share sheet, and I'm going to go in there. Okay.
Done button.
And what you do is, if you want to change something, you have to go up to the Edit button at the very top right. So let me swipe over to that. I'm on the back button, so let me swipe over.
Apps. Edit button.
So we're going to edit the apps.
Edit.
And this means we're going to include them or not include them. That's what this means. Okay, we're going to go down.
Edit. Favorites. AirDrop.
So AirDrop I can't do anything with. That's just kind of built in. It stays there.
Remove messages.
So if I don't want
actions available,
if I don't want messages to be on that list anymore of my share options, I can remove messages from the list. I'll still have my messages app, but it won't appear on the list anymore. And then I can add others in, and I think I can even reorder them too. Let's go down to a different one here. Let's see.
Reorder messages.
So, and the same thing on the left side of messages, I can include or I can take away the messages option, or if it's in, I can move it up or down in the list to have it more towards the beginning. So let's look at a different one here.
Remove mail.
Mail's the same way.
Reorder suggestions. Head notes. Switch button on.
So now these suggestions, and I'm not sure why they differentiate, but then you can just toggle these on and off. I don't think you can reorder them. Let me just see. So notes.
Journal. Switch button.
Journal.
Reminders. Switch.
So anyway, you get the idea. All the ones on the top part of the share sheet, you can manipulate right here. And then on the bottom part of the share sheet, you can edit those too. And I don't know why they break them up into two. That's something that's weird. And then when you're all done, you press the Done button up here at the upper right.
Done button. Done.
Okay, and then we go back.
Done button.
Or done. Sorry, done. Now,
More button.
Now that's one way, and then there's another way. I can go down.
Copy photo button.
Down
group.
to this one.
Page 2 group. Page 2 of 4.
Oops,
Center of screen. Photo. Add to album. Page 3 of 4. Ask and page 4 of 4. Describe page 4 of
So
4.
at the very bottom of this list, you have an edit
Edit actions. Button.
which is similar but not the same. So we're going to go in there,
Actions. Heading.
and you have an edit button as well.
Done. Button. More.
So
Button.
the other one was called More, and you're editing apps, and this one you're editing actions. So I guess this is like share with Be My Eyes or recognize with Be My Eyes, and the other ones were just text messages, mail. I guess that's the difference between these two buttons. So let's go down to one of these.
Options. But close. But more. Button. Copy photo. Add to shared album. Button. Add to album. Button.
Wait a minute, did I do that?
Use as well. Export unmodified. One photo. Add to new quick note. Save to ask. Envision it. Button. Recognize with seeing AI. Recognize. Find. Share with eBay. Edit actions.
Sorry,
Button.
let me go in there again. Edit actions.
Actions. Heading.
Okay, and we go edit.
Done. Button.
No.
Remove copy photo.
So if I don't want to copy
Actions
the
available.
photo to the buffer, to the clipboard, I can take that off, and that'll remove one menu item. And you can do the same with the rest of them below. Let's just go to a few more.
Insert add to shared album. Insert add to album. Insert AirPlay. Insert use as wallpaper. Insert export unmodified. Other actions. Create watch face. Switch button. Off.
So I turned that off. I don't want that on
Double
my
tap to toggle set.
on my list. Let's find another one I don't want on my list. Let's see.
Insert assign to contact. Insert print. Insert add to new quick note. Save to files. Ask Envision. Switch. Envision it. Recognize with Seeing AI. Recognize with SuperSense. Recognize with NFB Newsline.
So let's say I don't want
Switch
that one.
button.
I don't want to use NFB Newsline to recognize it. I'll just take that off. I'll just double tap.
Off.
And then that will no longer appear on the share sheet when I want to share things. And you could just take almost all of them off and just leave a few on there, and then you'll be real easy when you want to share stuff. So that's kind of a thing. I'm going to explain it really nice and detail in the notes, and it'll translate better if you do it step by step instead of following me sometimes. It can get lost because there's a lot going on here. So that's the way you edit the options in your sharing of different media, different data. So any questions on that?
Done.
We're gonna
Button.
be done on that.
More.
And then we're gonna
button.
get out of here.
Close. Button.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest we throw a
Reset.
flag. It's
Back button.
8:32 or something like that.
Oh, Barbara, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Toolbar.
Okay,
Share.
John, whenever you're ready. Thank you for doing
Ready to
that.
pull the plug? Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone had their questions answered.
Oh yeah. Any questions?
No.
Okay, I guess we're there. Thank you,
All
John.
right.
Barbara.
Okay,
Thank
Bye,
you,
everybody.
Manny.
so pull the plug.
All right. Thank you,
Good
guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios.